really? Where?
Right in the center of the island, actually, in the house of Paula that you will meet. She's coming to the call right now. It's a beautiful temple, a really beautiful place. And we're seeing of how can we support here to create a sustainable project, let's say, for people for living. And
That just kind of happened, right? It was
actually
that kind of happened.
With us was here, and he felt like connecting us to Poland. And tomorrow we're gonna be walking around the space and saying the vision and mission and how we can support and etc etc etc. Really exciting. Okay, Monica is also coming, but she doesn't feel very well. But so we can keep it short today for her. How are you, Roshni?
Ibiza was not, when I spoke to you last, part of the route, part of the potential route.
It wasn't. And it's very interesting to be here. You know, very different phase. It's funny actually because the place has started to kind of transform because many people didn't come for vacation, but many people came to actually start living here. So like the whole vibration of the island has started changing, and it's super interesting. Let's try to
and it already is such a magically vibrational place.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, true.
How are they with COVID?
As everywhere. So like you wear masks in closed places and things like that. But
I heard even on the beach they have to wear masks.
I mean, we didn't go to a beach that had a lot of people and they didn't say anything, but yeah, I don't really know. You have a parallel reality anyhow, so in the house we don't wear masks.
Yeah.
As always, like moving parallel to COVID.
Yes, yeah.
As we're all doing. How is it in Germany now?
Yeah, I never wear masks. I just don't do. And usually nobody asks me, but sometimes they do. And then I say, my doctor said, I don't, I'm not allowed to wear a mask. And then they say, okay.
Oh, wow. And they let you go inside places?
Yes,
here,
everywhere.
It's pretty lenient, but you can't really, there's many restaurants, many stores where you really cannot go in.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, most of the people wear masks, but most of the time I'm not even asked about why I don't do. And sometimes when people ask, I just say I'm not allowed to, and that's okay.
Yeah. Sorry, but so yesterday actually, where were you yesterday, both of you? What did you do?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Where were you yesterday?
Me?
Yeah.
What did I do yesterday? I had, I think, 3 yoga classes. Yes.
Oh, nice. Raw.
Yeah.
Besides being with you guys in the morning, I got a job working for this Italian movie that they're making, but they decided to do it in English. So I'm the one who's training all of the actors.
Okay.
How to speak in English. So interesting. Yeah, it's good.
That was kind of random. Okay, interesting.
A friend of mine is working in there. Coincidentally, she's a friend that I met at Vipassana.
Oh, hi, Monica. You look gorgeous for being for having fever, my dear. We can't hear you. You're muted. Yeah.
Thank you. I had to do all this because I have a workshop that I'm giving
couple hours. So
Oh.
put some makeup on.
Maybe just compile us so we can start. Here you go. Take care.
Hello.
So this is Paula.
Hello.
How are you?
The house we're in right now. So the girls,
Hi.
Eva and Monica, haven't been in the first call, so neither you, but Roshni have been, and myself also. So maybe we can take some moments to connect first, and then we can give them a little bit of an update of the first one. Just close your eyes and get down to your heart area. Down the circle to open. You can aim to receive some of the information that was shared in the first one, so we don't need to repeat everything by words. Slowly come back. And just a small update from our side. Yesterday was a very interesting day here in the temple. It was an interesting cosmic day also yesterday because it was the integration of the sacred masculine and the new moon, closing circles and opening others. So we were saying goodbye to Tom and the two guys that are living on Sunday from here, and also opening new circles. And we celebrated with a very beautiful ceremony that was quite a big transformation for everybody here. And that was, for me personally, the confirmation that we are ready to step into what I feel is coming on the 21st, which is the opening of a female future, let's say. And that's why I have called all of you, because I feel that each one of us has a role, has like a piece of a puzzle, and we can start imagining how these circles can happen. So to get down to a little more details, let's say, of what came up in the first session, it was mostly all of us start understanding and identifying what does it mean in the end, like a female future. What does it mean to start from this space? And some of you have seen probably like a small graphic that I sent you with what came up in the session. And as a second step this time, I would like to see how each one of you three that were not in the first one receives this information, why you feel like being in this circle right now, and talk about that. So we see how where everybody stands, and just take it from there. So whoever feels like sharing can come first. And just allow yourself to see the connection and the call behind the rational reasons of being in this place.
I can start. um, I think it's a very special moment where we need to strengthen all of our skills in unity, in togetherness, supporting each other. I personally have a very deep intention to put my presence and work in service of the evolution of us humans, but in this particular phase to help each other and really connect from a higher vision, a higher intention, to support everyone to become stronger, so we can really bring a new step. I think we have been getting together in circles for a while, and it's time to really focus in what the power that we can get together means, and how we can be more connected, bring this network wider and more focused as well, with the balance of our female and masculine energy within.
I'm just going to be writing some of the parts that this one of you say, so we'll have a thread after.
Just so you know, I got a little bit cut off, so I got a little bit pieces here and there. And I think when you're typing, you can hear her less. So, I mean, it was great that you typed it, but just so you know, when you're typing and she's talking, I couldn't hear. I don't know if it was just me.
No, that's happened.
That is happening. All right. So, I would like to go next. I think I don't have much clarity of what all this is. I guess I'm just kind of new into coming into this circle. But I just recently met Aliki, and I've been doing circles or retreats for a few years now, and my intention and my purpose is constantly supporting sisterhood and really being able to trust. So us women, we can trust in other women again. So that's always been my intention in my retreats and my workshops and everything that I do. So when she told me about creating circles and, you know, kind of like letting it flow and bringing the feminine, I was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm there. And well, my name is Monica, which I did introduce myself. So my name is Monica, and I do shadow work. That's my kind of expertise, and I've been using that in circles and for the past 16 years. And so I feel that I want to also support and be held and hold and, you know, have this dance with the masculine and feminine that is so needed right now, and us to really regain, you know, all the strength and beauty that people are really holding for us, and really taking advantage of this movement that is coming, not only here but all over, and just kind of being of service, and also being able to be held by a group of women. So that's kind of my thing. And just so you know, I'm a little bit off because I am a little bit sick today, and I'm like exhausted, but I have very clear.
Yeah, I think I'm be the next one then. My name is Eva. I'm in Germany, and I met Aliki in France only some weeks ago, and she asked me now for a women's circle, and I'm very happy to be here with you. And what I'm doing is usually I'm working as a yoga teacher, doing classes and workshops and retreats, and mostly I have women in my groups, and so I'm working with women and with this female energy for years now. And what I always find is that women are creating the new energy. They are going further on, and what I feel at the moment is that there is going to be a big step now. And I think even this crisis that we have all around the world is bringing us to a good point where we can live our vision with the female energy. And I think that even men will start feeling this energy. They have too, because they have this female energy, and they can't find the word at the moment. Mostly they try to be harder than they really are, I feel sometimes. To feel like a man, and that's not what we need in this time. And I think more and more they will feel this too. And I want to give these things to more, not only to women. And I want to share it with everyone. And so for the next days, for the Monday on 21st, I offered a ritual for everyone, and I will see who will come.
So yesterday was really interesting because by coincidence, there were 3 groups that I know, at least. For sure, there were many, many more than that, of men like holding circles for different reasons. One was Julian, that you know, Eva, doing his breath work. Right
okay.
At the same time that we were lying down and we were starting our ceremony here. And also Demetrius presenting his Love, Peace and Harmony Festival that's going to be happening in November. And it was incredible to feel the vibration of, and we had Tom here giving amazing poems and really representing what a health masculine would mean. A beautiful example. And I feel that they really, even though they didn't know in a way, they really did their part very gracefully yesterday, all the 3 of them that we know, at least, that are in our network. And I just feel that we can just aim for the same for Monday, and each one of us just allow ourselves to fully express what is this feminine future in organizations and in connection that we are imagining. as we talked like in the previous calls, one of the insights that really sticks in my mind from the previous call is how do we create boundaries that they feel like river bands. So it's river banks. So they're not that they exist. There is a structure, but it's not rigid. It allows to flow. And it was very interesting that from this idea, talking with Tom about regeneration of systems, I ended up understanding that the wolves, which is an archetype of many men that I know that have been in their entrepreneurial path for a very long time alone, are actually the ones who are allowing the rivers to shape and to become more stable. And that's, I feel, it's a very interesting parallelism, allegory for our relation between the two. So that they don't define them, the rivers, they just allow them to hold better, let's say. So that's something that really comes as an image to me. And it would be interesting to see how we translate these images into a field on Monday that we can all hold separately but together. And I just invite ideas of how this can happen so it feels correct for all of us.
I love it. I just saw the video before the concert.
So interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of concepts that are coming together, I feel, during this period, and each one of us does have their own niche in a way. So I feel that we can just start from there, not wanting to copy or reinvent, just be whoever we are. So if Eva is doing yoga, that's her thing, let's say, as an example, right? Because it's more precise. Monica is doing shadow work, and Rosa is doing Vipassana. It's like, doesn't need anything more than that. You just need to put it the correct attention for that to become a ritual. That's how I feel. I would like to see how you resonate with all of this flexible structure.
Yes, I actually, what I look for when I look for things that I want to receive, I look for authenticity and uniqueness. It can be whatever kind of treatment or circle or retreat or workshop, whatever. But I'm really interested now in the authenticity, the evolution of each of the practices that we learn and how we put it together, and meaning together also in co-creation, because I really believe in that now we're stepping up in another phase. We became practitioners or facilitators to a point, but now I believe more in the co-creation and co-facilitation and creating mixing techniques where we can be enriched and also share space, allowing people to see how we can commune together, rather than putting a teacher in a pedestal or letting someone have the leadership in what we are going to experience. But really, how can we dance in whatever we have to share and let people co-create to actually have some practices that are unique and that are the next level of what we have to learn, which is really getting in a like step off the protagonism and allowing for things to emerge in a cooperative space, which actually inspires other people to do the same. So nobody has to have the pedestal, but we can share the stage in a co-facilitation and co-creation with the rest of the group.
Yeah, that really resonates, actually.
Yeah, I think that's that's what I look for in the retreats and events that I host, but also in the ones that I want to attend, to see how we can weave this new world together. That it's not that we can add up a flavor to it, so more people can resonate. How can we change the language to make more people understand, and how we can unite different personalities, different presence, maybe even opposite, to meet in a middle point. Because I think now as a society we really need to step into that. We can't do things alone, and for me it's very important to show from the way we do that we are here to be together, and how can we share space with dignity and generosity at the same time, where we can enrich our lives by allowing and letting new things to emerge.
It really reminds me, actually, the first ceremony that we did in Conscious Gems when we were in France, that it was very funny because the guys were very anxious that we don't have a schedule. And I was just laughing because I knew that all of them had amazing gifts. And I was just letting them be do things and to see how many of these we will use. And it was very beautiful, actually, because there was no shaman in this ceremony, and it was a full moon ceremony. And just everybody stepped in when they felt right. And it was so soft and so magical at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I really feel that we can aim for something similar to that, and maybe just set a time so that like all of us are there, and then just allow everybody to bring in whatever they feel like bringing in, and just create the field that everything else would emerge as always. How does that sound?
I think that sounds very beautiful. And that's why I'm doing or offering this ritual. That's only the thing what I offer, and then it can work on everybody. And usually when I'm the yoga teacher, I'm doing the lesson, and I'm the one who cares for them too, and I look after everybody, and I create this time with them. And in this case, I want to offer that everybody can bring something with him. Everybody can bring something to share with all. And it's not only my creation. And maybe even there will be somebody else who says, okay, the next circle I'm offering. And so we come together in another place or whatever. I think that's, I think that's something that can really grow and can nourish us.
I really like this idea, and actually I have seen it happening. It's very interesting. There was a very interesting seed planted when I was 30, and I have already 2 other friends that each year when they turn 30, they're doing something very similar. So I feel that if it's really authentic, you don't even need to take care of it after. It just continues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, just so I'm clear. So you're thinking about having sister circles, but not you having sister circles. It's like you and inviting other people to do their own sister circle. Is that what you're like? Where you're getting, and these conversations are about how you would suggest the circles to be? Am I off?
So these actually conversations are aiming for us to understand what we are asked to create on Monday. Monday is a very interesting astrological day about stepping into a more feminine vibration, universally and planetarily. And I felt that we can really reinforce that by our presence, by our gifts, by us creating a ritual about it. So this conversation is literally for us to understand what it's supposed to happen this Monday. But
okay, so I didn't know anything about Monday, so we're gonna get together.
exactly, it's like how each one of us feel about what is supposed to happen on Monday, because it's just information that I receive. It's not something that I want to do. It's not like I want to do a circle on Monday. Not at all. It's like I just feel that something needs to happen, and then I want to check with each one of you what we all receive. So it's something collectively created, and the direction that is taking, it seems that it's going to be a co-creation for this Monday, and depending of what comes up and if it feels that it needs to continue, because some things don't even need to continue necessarily, or they feel so right they do continue. So we will see after Monday if we feel like doing more circles, or if it was complete. It can also be complete sometimes. Yeah, so it's more about us defining what we'll do on Monday so that everybody feels right with it. And yeah, that's it, I guess.
Ceremony, right? Like a bit like a ceremony, and see kind of what's gonna. Okay, so I do have something to say with what Paula was saying.
Yes.
And for me, one of the things that I've seen is, and I love this whole kind of dance, like we all get to dance, and there's not like one person, giving a class or anything, that it's like we all get to kind of bring something and have a beautiful dance. But also I do believe that there's such an important, and more like, for example, if you guys are creating it, like the space holder, there always has to be somebody that could lead and has the intention for it. For me, that's like the part of the masculine that the feminine needs also, to hold the feminine, to protect it. And also it's like, I feel like my head is right. Sorry. So I was like in a thought, and I don't even know how I'm going to give this to the workshop. But anyway, so I was going to say about, the leading, the holding the space, that it's so important, and the importance of all of us having an intention. Like, for example, in this call, like your intention is that what comes up, and what do you think you could bring, or whatever, but that the intention is clear. I think that would be really important, maybe that day. It's not so much like, I mean, we have a space for miracles that I call, that can, that can happen, but maybe the intention is to be open to miracles, or open for a message, or open, or we're going to focus on this. So for me, that's like super important when there's a circle, to have like a clear intention, by the space holders, or whoever's going to be part of it, that has like a intention that we could all align, and then, we could kind of, how do you call it? Like sew it together, that would be kind of like my view if I think about, a ceremony, or having a little bit, because I think I saw a little bit of the video you guys had, and you were talking about, how, structures, and that you wanted flowy and whatever, but a little bit of structure, like a little bit of the masculine holding the flowing part. I think that is really important, because I've seen it before. People have tried to do just kind of like, let's see what it, and then it went like hours, and some of them were like, do we put a time on this, or, but I think that there has to be a little bit of intention, and a little bit, so, because the feminine needs to be held in order for us to like have the movement, and, to feel held and supported, and, and a little bit of that would be good. I feel, like in the timing, and in the intentions, or whatever. That's kind of my part.
No, I agree a lot on that, and thank you for actually putting the structure. And that's why we're having today's call. The first one was mostly for us to explore, and today it's more for us to define. So on Monday, it's already clear. We don't need to go into another call and things like that because it's not so much talking about it. So what, as you see it more clearly, what would you need as a structure? Let's take it like as you see it more clearly. Let's see.
Yeah, because I have this beautiful example of heart map. This organization that provides an application where you can actually make brain heart coherence, and you can log in to see how many people are connected with their brain heart coherence at the same time, for example. And I mean, we've had during this confinement period a lot of global meditations where there was a time set and everybody would be meditating at that time no matter where they are, but the people were like really concentrating in the same thing, or just even the intention that I am here making brain heart coherence in my own space. I don't see everybody, but there, you know, that in that moment you're connecting with yourself, a lot of people are connecting with themselves. So that could be one way of connecting with the timing and knowing that if we light a candle, we will all light it at the same time and we will have the same intention. And it could be as simple as that, for example.
Yeah. One question is like how each one of us feels about, do we need to connect also over a call? Do we prefer to do our own ritual at the same time? Would we prefer to do it alone with only for us? Would we like to do it with other people? And it doesn't need to be the same format necessarily. I feel that maybe just defining a time, and if we go on a Zoom call, all of us or not, it's enough, and then everybody can understand what they want to create. If it's just for them, if it's with others, we can start from there. So I do agree on the time, and I will actually create a small poll to see which time works for all of you. Monica, you were saying something interesting about Monday, about the times. Can you remind me?
Oh, well, I mean, you guys don't have to believe in this stuff, but on Monday, hold on. So Monday, I don't know you guys' time. So I'm in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
So the moon is going to be in water. It's going to be in Scorpio. So it's a water energy. So there's like emotions. So it's like perfect for us, you know, to like really swim into like what we're feeling. But it's my time. Okay. So from like 8 p.m. my time to like 9:30. So it's just an hour and a half. So in that moment, the moon, there's no planet holding the moon. So it's a void moon. So what that means is that, you know, most of the time I use it for example, my business, for example, that's not a moment where you put social media because people are not going to, it's kind of, or if you go into a meeting, it's those meetings that you have to ask yourself, like, so what did he say? And so what did I say? So it's kind of like it's not going to be held. Like it doesn't hold information because there's no planet holding the moon. But after 9:30, it's going to go into fire. So it's going to be like really good for us, you know, like just to like really feeling the feelings. And so that would be like the only time that I would kind of avoid, which is the 8 p.m. to
9:30.
9:30, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then 10 p.m. my time, that goes to, you know, to fire energy, Sagittarius. Like I said, you know, I mean, I use the moon stuff for my marketing and for like doing my one-on-one coaching sessions. And it really works for me. So when I've done it on void moons, or when people do their meetings on void moons, they're always like, it was weird. It was all over the place. Like people were here that were doing this, and I'm like, yeah, that's usually what happens. So I just kind of want to mention that. But if we do it earlier, it's pretty good. I think that the water energy is going to be really good for us. And, you know, it's like nature.
Water or fire? Thank you for that. First of all, yeah, I do think it is important us to take it into consideration, these timings.
Totally. I had my doubts of, like, I feel so comfortable in the emotional world that that I don't know. There's exactly where I can be more in tune with the depth of my desires or intentions. But also I think that if we have something in concrete, if we have something that we want to be manifested, then I think fire is a good time when we want to focus in what is the energy that we want to see manifested. Which I'm now it's the new moon. The new moon just had like swept me away. So I don't know if I would have a specific intention to manifest. There's so many endings and new beginnings starting in this uncertain times. Yeah, that it's. I think that even for me, I think fire right now, it's short term because we don't know what's going to happen, and we really will, or that's my belief, that we have to surrender.
I'm feeling that might be like 2 steps, and we can define with the fluidity of water what is actually our intention for the new era, and just separately, each one of us set the intention when we're stepping in the time of the fire. So meaning having the circle all together in the water time to really allow it to emerge and just understand, because the water does represent a lot of the feminine for me. But then we can, let's say, decide that the intention that is being created in the water circle, we just light a candle, each one of us separately, around 10 o'clock in the night, to really fire it up and so like to initiate it. So I'm thinking something like that, more than having, because it's all about why not both? Why having to decide? Right?
I think the time is really who's gonna let us know. And more for practicing the feminine, I think it's about like maybe doing a little meditation, each of us, or a little prayer to the circle, and ask the circle what time she would want us to join, and then we can go from there, versus like, you know, just kind of like what Paula was saying, like just kind of like kind of flow with it, like you said, but like listen to her, you know, to the circle or whatever we're creating. And maybe we could do a little meditation or a little connection, all of us, and then just, you know, just tell each other like, oh, this is what I got, and we could just ask her if that's something you guys want them to do.
Do you think we can do that now? Should we include somehow the others? That's the only thing that I'm thinking. It could also, I'm just thinking that I could also send like a voice message to the group, just guiding each one of us, like, let's just tap into the circle and just decide the time, and then we continue communicating through that. Because like including the others also somehow.
Yeah, I think. I would love for the others also be, and more than deciding, more listening. To, you know, and like and also, if we're going to be there listening for the time, we also want to listen to the intention, like, because you came up with something that you heard in your heart, right? And then you talk to Ava and Paula and me, and you're like, I don't know what it is or whatever. Like, so to me is, I think we're all getting together to listen to what wants to be created, and to listen to like this energy that we're like, oh, it's calling us for what we don't know, but I think we could trust what comes up. I don't know what you guys think, Ava.
This is a lot actually what came up from the first call to create this tapestry of images and words and everything, and that's why we started sharing in the group different types of images. And I think that Raquel wants to put them all together into a mandala. So I really like this. Maybe even the intention can be a combination of all the intentions together, like a shared intention somehow.
Yeah, and if people, because when people think about intentions or what they want to manifest or what we want to manifest, we think about like in the future or whatever. But I think right now what I'm connecting with is that to really have the space with you guys, like that's what I would like to receive, like have the space with you guys where I could like really listen to like, how do I really want to feel, like how do I really want to feel, because we think about what we want, but is it like, how is it, what do I need more right now, space or peace or clarity or whatever it is. And I think in this circle we can like really be honest with ourselves because we're in a safe place, so I think the general intention is that, from what I heard, Aliki, is that you want kind of a safe space for all of us to like really listen, find maybe within that need, that feeling, the power that is there. And you spoke so much about how you wanted to wake that power within us. But before we do that, we have to really feel and be honest with ourselves. It's like, what is it that I really need now, right? So like, what is my intention of how I want to feel? And that could be like a good place to start. And then the creation starts coming from there. And I hate to do this to you guys, but in 5 minutes I have to get ready, or I have.
It's actually to start finalizing the circle.
You guys don't have to. I'll watch the recording, and I hope I can add a little.
No worries at all. I think we have gotten to a specific point. Actually, I do feel like listening to you that it would be beautiful if you can describe what you're saying in a voice message. It doesn't necessarily have to come from me, from my side. So like exactly these questions that will make the intention come up, if you don't mind. If you don't have time, I can totally do it. But it feels like you were allowing me to get tap into that as you were talking. So if you feel like doing it, it would be beautiful. If you don't, no problem at all.
In the WhatsApp?
Yeah, just a voice message to guide us to get into this intention. That's what we were saying for Monday. So yeah, just a simple voice message of everything that, like the questions that came up now, practically like this. Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to be watching this.
I don't know if everybody will watch the whole
okay.
and until the end, because it's like still an hour. So maybe we can also create that as shorter, and for all of us to have exactly the same process also as we're listening to it and downloading the information. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll try to do some time tomorrow, because today I'm going to be done like at 1:30 in the morning.
No problem. Tomorrow morning, it's totally fine.
I have like 2 meetings, but yes. So just so I'm clear, is that I'm going to ask everybody to like do this little meditation with me. We close our eyes and we ask this circle. Now, does this have a name? Have you put this a name, or what do you call it?
I mean, I called it Divine Tapestry because I just like the name, but we can choose something else.
I think that's yours. I think that you created it, and so I want it's everybody, because you're inviting everybody to it. But I think that what I would do is I'm kind of asking for you guys' permission and blessing on it. that do like a little meditation and ask the divine tapestry, her energy to be in front of us, you know, and to like let us feel her, and you know, ask her how, you know, she wants to be like how she wants to express herself through us. And we want to make sure that she gives us her intention, and then we give her our intention, how we want to feel with her. And how does she feel on Monday to get together? Is it daytime? Is it evening? And then she'll give you an image, and then we could just talk about it and everybody can comment that.
Sounds exactly as it should.
All right, loves. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm sorry this is like
Thank you
so.
so much.
Thank you.
Sending you my
Thank
love.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Blessing
you.
you guys. Bye.
Bye.